Hey there, it's Anna McKinley. Welcome to another episode of Living Greatly, how to create a great life for yourself. And, so many of us in today's world, in fact, at any time, so many of us spend our lives focusing on the things we want, on the goals that we haven't yet achieved, on that next promotion, that next job, that next holiday. Um, the stuff that we don't yet have. And we also spend a lot of time looking back over our lives, particularly reflecting on the things that we would have liked to have done better, the mistakes that we've made, reliving our failures, that kind of thing. Studies show that actually the average person spends only a fairly small percentage of our time actually focused on the present moment, actually focused on living in and enjoying each moment that we have, which is interesting. Now, if you've been listening to my other episodes, you know that I'm all about achievement and I work with clients to help them achieve their goals. But one of the traps that it's very easy to fall into when we set goals for ourselves is it's easy to fall into the trap of setting the goal and then focusing on the goal and just focusing on the fact that we don't have it yet. And that's a trap in a number of ways. The first way is it gets us focused on the lack of the goal. And one of the laws of the mind, or laws of the universe, if you like, is that what we focus on expands. So if we're focusing on not having the goal, it actually makes it harder for us to achieve that goal. But also, if once we set a goal, we spend all of our time and energy focusing on that future, we're missing out on now. And it's actually very easy to miss out on living our lives, on appreciating those small magical moments that go to making up a great life. That moment of beauty when the sun sets, or that precious opportunity to spend a few minutes with our kids just having fun, or getting outside and appreciating nature, whatever it is. Our lives are just made up of a series of moments. So to have a great life, it's important to actually make each moment great. Now, I want to share with you a story which is a great metaphor for this. It's actually a child's story that someone gave to me when I was very young. And for some reason, the story has stuck with me through the years. Now, it's a fairy tale of a young boy who was just always really impatient. Each day when he was at school, he was impatient to get home and get on to the next thing. When he got home, he'd be impatient for the next day and the next day's challenge. He was impatient to finish school. He was impatient to get a job. He was impatient to get married and then all of that kind of stuff. Well, as a young boy, he was so impatient, just looking forward to the next thing and the next thing and wanting to fast forward his life. He had a visitation from a magical creature who gave him this special magical device that, it was a toy thing that when he pulled the string, it would actually make his life fast forward. So if he was in the middle of class at school and he was bored, he could pull a little bit of the string and skip forward to the afternoon. If he was bored to the day, he could pull the string and skip forward to the next day. If he pulled it a little bit further, he could skip forward to the next year, and so on. Now, being the impatient kind of person that he was, he started pulling the string a lot. He skipped most of his childhood because he fast forwarded through school. He took a job as an apprentice builder, but that got a little bit tedious as a while. So he fast forwarded, pulled the string a bit further so he could skip forward and actually be a fully fledged builder. He met a girl that he liked and he was courting her, but he wanted to move on with the relationship. So he pulled the string and fast forwarded until they were married with small children. And he kept doing this, just fast forwarding his life because he was always looking forward to the next thing. Well, before he knew it, he was an old man. And he'd skipped through all of his life, but he'd actually missed so much. He'd missed all of those moments. He'd missed times with his wife. He'd missed a lot of his childhood. And he'd missed the childhoods of his kids, his young children. He'd missed seeing them grow up because he'd kept, pulling the string of this thing and Fast forwarding, and now he was running out. There was not much string left. Well, lucky for him, this magical person came back to him at this point in his life and talked to him about what he'd learned, and actually took him back to that point in his youth before he had this magical device. And with him, he brought the lesson that actually we get more out of life if, instead of being impatient for what's next, we actually take some time to be present in the now and enjoy each moment. And that is what he did, and lived a full and rich life. Now, I can't remember the name of the book, but that story obviously stuck with me. And it's pretty clear what the moral of the story is. It's about being present and being mindful in our lives, even if there are things that we want, making the most of each moment. So it's the weekend. What's something that you're going to do this weekend that you can make the most of? What magical moments can you take the time and focus to just appreciate, have some fun in, just enjoy? Because it's those moments that go to making up a great life. So I hope you have an awesome weekend. I wish you some moments of joy, fun, enjoyment, whether it's just with yourself or with your family or other people that you love. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.